Hello, and welcome back to Tech Tuesday. Last week, we talked about 3 of the Padlet layouts. We talked about the wall, we talked about the grid, and we also talked about the timeline. Today, we're going to cover the other 3, which is Canvas, Stream, and Map. Let's take a look at how they work and how you can use them in your classroom. We'll start off talking about our Map Padlet. I'm going to go ahead and go here, create an example. On the right side right here, I'll select map, and you'll see that it'll automatically kind of give me a world map that I can use. This would be really ideal if I was in a history class, for example. I can zoom in here. So let's say that I wanted to do something where I'm talking about important battles of the Civil War. I could go ahead and search on my Padlet. So click plus right here. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put Fort Sumter here, which was an important battle of the Civil War. I search for that. It'll give me the monument. I can publish that, and I can also maybe write a couple of sentences or have my students write a couple of sentences about why that was so important. I'll go ahead and just search for a few other ones here. Vicksburg, Gettysburg. So I can lay all of those out. Another format that you can use is something called the stream format. This looks pretty similar to a stream that you might find on social media. I'm going to go ahead and clear my post here first, and it'll give me a little prompt. Clear my posts. Click stream. Right now, I'm having my students read the Diary of Anne Frank. And so I might want to have them summarize after every reading of the Diary of Anne Frank. So we can see what we've learned, see where we've left off in the story. And so this is really ideal for summarization, conversation, if you're doing that. Either students posting on their individual Padlets or maybe posting on a group Padlet. So I'll double click right here. My subject will be somebody wanted but so. I'm going to talk a little bit about what happened in the previous reading. I'll focus on Mr. Dussel here. He's one of the characters in Anne Frank. He wanted to tell stories about what was happening outside of the annex. Mr. Frank saw it was upsetting everyone, so he told him to stop. And so you'll see right there, and then every time I have a new post, I can either just copy that post or double click. And this is really good for students to use as a resource so that every time that they're reading, they can kind of summarize what they're doing as part of an exit ticket. And they can actually comment on there. They can like those posts as well. I'm going to go ahead and clear this to show you the last type here. So I'll clear my board again. This last type of Padlet that we have is called a canvas. Now, canvases can be used for a variety of different things. One of the ways that I could use it in my classroom is I could actually use it as a mind map, to have students map out their thoughts, maybe as they're reading a text, sort of just another way to take notes. So for example, on Friday of last week, I was having my students do a first chapter Friday. I was having them do this on paper. Here's an example right here of what they were doing. Well, one of my students did. And so we were looking at a story called Brown Girl Dreaming, and I was having them map out a few of the things like characters here. On Padlet, how this works is you can actually just kind of drag these around and you can connect to different posts. And so right here, I'll click on the 3 little dots, click connect to another post, and it'll connect. And I can actually kind of put this out and put the different characters that are in this story. Something else that I might do in this mind map is the setting. The setting is really important to Brown Girl Dreaming. It's a nonfiction story, a group of poems. It's a book in verse. And so the setting of the 1960s and 1970s is really important. So I'll go ahead, do that, connect those posts there, talking a little bit about the civil rights movement, some of those civil rights leaders, as you can see. And I can visually represent this too. Really easy to just look these up. So I've got Malcolm X right here, another civil rights leader who she talks about, connecting all of those together. And you'll see that it's really easy just to kind of drag these around. The more time that I spend here, the bigger this canvas is going to get. And I can represent with images too, which is very helpful for students. Again, just a really easy way to do this mind map on the Padlet. And students can kind of continually add to this, or you can continually add to it as a class as this is happening. Thank you for watching this edition of Tech Tuesday. If you have any questions about Padlet or have something that you would like to be covered in the future, let me know.